Oh yeah. What's up, my slothy man, slothing friend of all slothiness that ever sloth? What's the word today? How you doing today, man? How we doing today? The First Amendment. What is the First Amendment? Huh? What's the First Amendment? It says Congress shall make no law, not any blood clot single ting law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people to peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances, aka they don't like. Why is the left against the First Amendment with, like, trigger words and safe spaces? So, because that means you can't say anything that. There's a lot of what is the fear? Why is there fear of words? Why is there fear of the expression of the First Amendment?
Your question seems this displays a bit of bias. I know, surprising, right?
I have no bias. There's no bias.
So let me ask you this: do you support freedom of speech?
Absolutely, 100%. I knew what Kaepernick.
Do you feel that Republicans support freedom of speech?
Yeah. Why not? Hey, who was more free with their speech than a former president?
So you believe Republicans are for freedom of speech, correct?
Why not?
So we can go left.
I asked him a question about the left, and he was like, the right, but I'm gonna let him. Go ahead.
So do you believe that Republicans support freedom of? Do you feel Republicans are just supportive of the First Amendment in general?
I think every true blue American, regardless of party, should be. But it seems,
okay.
But
So when it comes to freedom of religion, when it comes to freedom of speech, freedom of press, assembly, and petition, which party usually has more of a problem with freedom of religion, freedom of assembly? Which party usually, or which the right or the left?
Answer. I'm gonna try to give you an answer for your softball. I'm gonna try to give you your softball here. I'm gonna try to give you a softball as big as your butt. Okay. Underhand here. According to 2020, with 2020 being our only view, if we just went surface, you would say, the Republicans were against peaceably assembling in 2020. Is that what you want to hear? Now, we know they weren't peaceable. I don't know. Should we run the finish? Let's. Okay. See, they when you think peaceable assembly, you think this.
S. Support our seniors. SOS. Support our seniors.
Now, what we saw was this.
Anyone can show an image and say that it represents the right. Anyone can show an image and say this represents the left. And we can do that. Look, I could show... say this represents the whole, right? You could show one bad cop and say all cops are bad, right? Somebody dressed in all black is a part of Antifa, and say that anyone who's anti-fascist is bad, right? You can do that. You can pick one and say that it represents the whole, right?
And I'll give you that. I think everybody does that, and that's not cool. No one should do that. See, the Constitution is not about...
Wait. You just said everyone does that?
Yeah, I think everybody does that.
Okay, well, can you talk to that? You said everyone does, so everyone opposes those who disagree with them?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Everyone opposes those. Well, no, I won't say those oppose. Yeah, we're getting to a point where everybody opposes those who disagree with them. If you don't totally agree with everything they say, they cancel you.
Well, is it? So I guess here's the thing. It's okay to oppose somebody. Having said that, it's different when rights are taken away related to freedom of speech. There's a reason why there are court cases connected to the First Amendment. The reason why that is because they've had to be argued in courts to assure us freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion.
Oh, no, it's not natural to want to hear what other people have to say.
I mean, you're talking about trigger words, right?
Yeah, but if I use the wrong pronoun, like, come on.
Well, let me ask you this.
Give me a
break.
When
you're talking with a friend if your friend was to say, hey, listen, like, I don't really like the use of the R word, using that as an example. So in that moment, what is your response? Your response is you're going to respect your friend. You're going to be like, hey, I feel you. I appreciate letting me know. I won't use that word around. So maybe you might use it in other circles, but you know around your friend, you're not going to use it.
Right.
And you're not going to use it. You're not going to use it because you want to be respectful.
Out of respect. Correct. But if next weekend they come and they got 15 more words that they don't want me to use, I'm like, bruh, you better get on up out of here with that.
As Americans, our goal is to connect with other Americans. Our goal is to be friendly. I think that's a part of who we are, to connect as Americans. And maybe you don't, and maybe that's the difference, right? But for those of us who want to connect with other Americans, we want to be mindful of the words we use, of our vocabulary, because words have meaning, right? Words matter. If the N-word is offensive, and it is, I think we can agree it's offensive.
Yes, I do not like it when people say nincompoop. I'm like, what? Come on now, do not say it. Not intelligent person. Don't call me.
Right. We don't use that word. I think racists rarely use that word even around black people. Just because they have the fear of getting nasty, right?
Right, they know that's the trigger word. If it ever was a trigger word, that's the. What'd you say?
Hey, that's why to go back home, damn nigger. What you call me? Nigger. Miss. Get off me. I got your nigger. Oh! Yeah. Say it again. Jump at me. Say it again. Hey, say it again. Say it again. Say it again. I'm gonna call the cops.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. Oh my God. Yeah, that's what happens.
Right. There's consequences.
Copy.
When they go home, or they're not on their body, right?
Right.
It might be a little different, right? Maybe that word flows a little bit easier. So,
however, I will say nobody uses it more than black people. Sorry, that's us. That's us. That's our thing.
I think that's a really great conversation to have, and I think it's a conversation that a lot of white people often misunderstand. And I think for a lot of white people, they shouldn't even participate in that conversation to a certain degree. Until they listen a bit, right?
I don't think you should participate at all in that way. I wouldn't jump in and be like, so Spanish people, like we can't say, like, bro, what? Who's the black guy? It's okay, I'm not racist. I can speak on it. Like, no, you can't.
You would have to have some permission. So I think when it comes to trigger words, I do think that there are people that want to use these words that are offensive, and they're upset that they can't use them. And the thing is, they can use them. It's just there's consequences. For me, I just feel like I need to become a better listener. I need to become a better understander of others. So, for men, it's important for men to understand the other. For somebody who's able-bodied, it's important to learn the other. For someone who's cisgender, they need to learn the other. Because we already know what it's like to be us, right? We already know our privileges that exist. What we don't know is the other. With words that are considered trigger words, I think it's important to try and understand why they exist, not just brush them off because it infringes on our freedom of speech.
Right on. I gotta find this place of black privilege. I really gotta find it.